A task that was simple a few years ago can feel incredibly complicated today. The actual work hasn't changed, yet the process surrounding it has grown. This isn't an accident. It's the slow, predictable result of a pattern that repeats inside organizations over time. Think about a routine process from the past, like starting a new project. It was usually very direct. Someone drafts a project brief, their manager approves it, and the work begins. The path from the initial idea to actually starting was short and straightforward. Now, look at that same task as it exists today. The fundamental work is the same, but the process has expanded around it. There are new peer reviews, financial checks, and compliance sign-offs. That simple three-step process has turned into something far more complex. So how did this happen? The starting point for this complexity is almost always a single event, a significant and very visible failure. Sometime in the past, a project went wrong in a way that couldn't be ignored, and a specific cause was identified. Because this error was so visible, it generated negative attention. This creates pressure from leadership and stakeholders to make sure that this exact type of mistake never ever happens again. And the way the system responds to this failure is the key. The organization's reaction is what starts to change the process for everybody, not just for the team involved. The standard response is to add a new control. This is a formal step or procedure added to the system with a single purpose: to prevent that one specific problem from happening again. It's a direct solution to a very specific, documented failure. For instance, if the failure was a quality issue, the organization might create a new, mandatory quality review step. It could be a simple checklist or a formal sign-off, but it's a tangible action meant to catch that one type of error. And here is the crucial part. This new control isn't just applied to the team that made the original error. To ensure the mistake doesn't happen anywhere else, the solution is rolled out as a new standard for every team doing similar work. So right away, the baseline process changes. What used to be a three-step process is now a four-step process. The definition of normal work has now become just a little bit longer for everyone involved. Now, this cycle doesn't just happen once, it repeats over years. As different kinds of mistakes are made in different parts of the organization, each one tends to get the same response, adding yet another layer to the standard procedure. So maybe a couple of years later, another visible mistake happens. This time, it's not about quality, but about a project going far over budget. This is seen as a completely new and different kind of risk that needs to be controlled. The response follows the exact same pattern. A new control is created, in this case, a mandatory financial pre-approval for all projects. And just like before, this specific fix gets added to the universal process, right on top of the other controls. And this brings us back to where we started. The once simple process has become a multi-stage approval chain. It wasn't designed to be this complicated all at once. It simply emerged, one step at a time, from a series of reactions to past failures. The effect on how long things take is substantial. The total time to complete a routine task gets longer and longer. Each individual control adds a small delay, but when they all add up, they create a system that moves much more slowly than it used to. It's important to see that no one set out to make things slow. If you look at each added step by itself, it was a perfectly logical and defensible response to a real problem. Each control was put in place to manage a known risk. But the long-term collective result of all these individual fixes is something no one ever planned: a system-wide slowdown. The organization becomes very good at preventing the specific mistakes it has seen before, but it pays for that safety with its overall speed. So the gradual slowdown of work isn't just random bureaucracy. It is the logical outcome of a system that learns from its visible errors. The system is simply optimizing to prevent documented, repeatable failures, and that comes at the cost of the speed of routine work.